Hello, my fellow data visionaries. In today's video, we are going to discuss a Power BI project. So, if you are learning a Power BI or want to impress in any interview or project demo, this is the only Power BI project you need. Seriously, this isn't just about just dashboarding, it is an industry focused end-to-end solution that covers everything from raw data to stunning interactive visuals. So you will start with real world data, clean and transform it using Power BI, and dive into DAX to create powerful calculations and dynamic titles. So we cover measure groups, KPI indicators, interactive filters, waterfall charts, and so much more. Everything a business dashboard needs to drive decisions. So this project mirrors how reporting works in real companies. So whether you are a beginner or simply brushing up your BI skills, this gives you hands-on practical experience. Watch the full video, follow along, and by the end, you will know how to build dashboards that actually make an impact. So let's dive in. So let me just start with how we are going to take this presentation and the video ahead. So when you talk about this video, we are going to make a Power BI project for a dummy company which is by the name of Plantis, and the presentation would be like we would discuss about the business context first, and then we would move on to objectives, and then we would do the hands-on Power BI. And here you can see the screenshot of the report. This is how the report would look like. So the business context is that we have a dummy company which is by the name of Plantis, which operates in the botanical plants product industry, which offers products like landscape, indoors and outdoor plants, right? And the sales data is tracked across countries, product types and time periods. So the stakeholders have asked to make a dashboard for the leadership team, right, where we can they can basically compare about the YTD and the PYTDs, that is year to date and previous year to date, and then they can track about the profitability, segmentation and strategic regional insights. So objectives of our report would be to monitor the quantity performance, track sales value and profitability, identify underperforming regions, segmentation of accounts by profitability, time series and comparative analysis. So here in this slide you can see that along with the objectives, I've made sure that I write about the kind of charts which we would be making. But if you are confused or you need more in-depth idea and knowledge about which chart should be used when, for example, when you are trying to do a hierarchical analysis or part 2 whole analysis, or you are doing a time series analysis, which kind of chart should you be using? So all of these details are being mentioned here, which is modern guide to data storytelling. So you can download your free copy right away by following this link. I'm sharing the link in the description box. So in this guide you will have everything about what kind of visual points are being used, why particular chart is being used, and what are the how many categorical variables or non-categorical variables are being used in that particular chart. So everything is mentioned in there. So do grab your free copy right now. Link is in the description box. So when we move ahead from the objectives, the report features, so we are going to create a completely dynamic reports. There would be titles would be dynamic, all the charts would be syncing along with them. There would be waterfall chart, dynamic titles would be there, zoom slicers, tree map, top and we would be adding the average lines, and a lot more is there in this particular project. So like I said, this is a complete end-to-end project. Now let's move on to the hands-on part. You can download the project files from my GitHub page. This is the link as in front of you on the screen, but I have also added this particular link on my on the description box, so you can go and check. It contains all this current presentation, all the important links, the data set and everything are there on the GitHub page. So please go and download them. All right, so this is the project flow which we are going to follow up. So we are going to get the data in Power BI. Then we would try to transform it in the Power Query editor. Then we will create a table, which is a calculated table by the name of dim date. Then we would create a slicer value and measures. So in this particular thing, we would be making base measures, year to date, prior year to date, switch values. And then we would make the star schema. So star schema is a part of modeling and it's a very important concept. So if you have any confusion about the star schema, go watch out my short video on star schema. It covers everything about when to use, how to divide your data into measures and facts. So that difference is very much important. And you know how we are connecting, what kind of connections are there, the cardinality basically. So every detail, it's clearly mentioned there in the video, and I am adding again the link in the description box. So you will have 3 links in the description box: one of the star schema, second of the free modern guide to data storytelling, and third link of the current project data files. And once we are done with the star schema, we would then go about drafting the design of the report and then giving the final touches. So let's move on with the project flow. So this is an empty or a brand new, basically blank report of Power BI. So I'm just clicking on blank report. So now if you will go, you can click on get data. So the data, let me just show you. Okay, so this is how the data looks like. So it has 3 workbooks within it. So plant fact, accounts, and plant hierarchy. This is how the data looks like, and this is in Excel format. So let me just close it. Yeah, so let's click on get data, and we would be clicking on Excel workbook because our data is in the Excel workbook. And then we have a data set here. So I'm just clicking, waiting for Power BI to load everything. Yes, so here now you will see that all the subcategories like accounts, plant fact, plant hierarchy, everything is there. So I'm just clicking them. And now I want to transform the data. So I'm just clicking on transforming data. So this is my Power Query editor that has opened up. Now I can edit this current data set. So the first thing first I would want is, I would want to change the names probably, or okay, let's just start with let's say the first row here, I want it to be used as the column header, because right now you can see that it is column 1, column 2, column 3. I want to use it as column header. So now I can simply click here, use first row as header. So now you can see that the first row has been used and header. Now I can check about the the data types basically. So when you are trying to transform the data, or when you are checking the data, it is important that you are also checking about the valid, error, empty, all of these things, because it's important, right? And you can also check about, you can go to the view, you can check on column distribution, column profile, column quality. All these things are your responsibility as a data analyst to check, because, and this is also a very important question in the PL 300 Power BI analyst certification exam, that which kind of inputs you can get in column distribution, column profile, and column quality. So this is a very common question, and that would come in every exam. And one thing more, that if you are preparing for PL 300 exam, I have curated a playlist which has questions, practice sets for PL 300 exams. I am also sharing the link of this PL 300 preparation playlist in the description box, so please do go check that out also. So let's coming back to the project. Here let's say I'm okay with the product family data type as text. So product family ID, I'm right clicking it. I want it to be as a whole number, so I have changed that. Product group as text is fine. Product ID, again I want it to be a whole number. Now product name, I'm okay. Now product name ID, again right clicking on it, making it as whole number. Product size is fine. Product type, okay. I'm also changing the name of this table as dim products, because this is about products and it's important. Now let's go to accounts. I'm changing the name of the table by simply double clicking on its name, and they say dim accounts. Now here also you would see that I want that the first row should be considered as the header. So I am just clicking on use first row as header. Now country code, now let's check the data type. So I'm okay with text. Accounts, I'm okay with text. Master ID, okay. Change data type, I'm taking it as whole number. Account ID, I'm okay with text because it contains hyphen. Latitude, firstly I would like to change the name of the column, so I'm just double clicking on it and I am deleting this too, and I would want it to be decimal, so I'm right clicking on it and I'm putting it as decimal. Now longitude, right clicking on it, putting it as decimal. For country 2, I am double clicking on it, but I'm just changing the name of the column because the data type looks fine to me. Postal code, I'm okay with text. Street name text, street number, that's fine with me. Okay, now let's go to plant fact. So I'm just changing the name of the table again. So this is fact sales. Again the same concern, so I'm just clicking on use first row as header. Product ID, I'm right clicking, changing the data type to whole number. Sales USD, changing the data type to decimal. Quantity, right clicking, changing the data type to decimal. Same with price USD, changing the data type to decimal. COG is cost of goods sold. Date time, I'm right clicking on it, change the date time to date because this has only date, so I'm just keeping it as date. Account type, account ID, I'm okay as text. Alright, so I think my data cleaning is done for this particular data set, and this is all I want for this current project. So I'm just clicking on close and apply, and let's wait for Power BI to do its magic. And meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure that you are doing it right away. You can also share this project with anybody who is trying to honing their skills in Power BI or data analysts. Alright, so on the right side, on the data side, you can see that I have dim products, dim dimension accounts, dimension products, and fact sales. So I have intentionally named these tables as dim and fact because it is important for the star schema. It is easier for you to identify between the dim dimension and fact fact tables basically. And please go through the star schema video. I am sharing the link in the description box. It is an important concept, especially in Power BI when you are modeling. So let's say now I want now let's say the table view, and if you will see here in the fact sales in date time, you would see that my the earliest date is 1st January 2022, and the last is 14th April 2024. So we know that we don't have the 2024 complete year, right? And in our analysis is the stakeholders have asked that we should compare between the previous year sales and the current year sales also. So now it is important that I have the date which I'm sure that it existed in the previous year also, right? So for this particular thing, just to handle this peculiarity in our data set, that previous year might or might not be available, we would be creating an additional table, a date table, dimension date table, and we would then have a flag, a boolean thing that will mark that date as whether it existed in the previous year or not, right? So for that I am simply clicking on new table. So new table, I'm just simply clicking on new table. So I am naming this table as dim date. Now I want a date table, so I'm using a calendar function. Now I'm trying to put all the date formats, right? So my earliest year is 2022, and I started off with 1st of January, so that is my minimum date. Now I need to give the end date. So it's easy, right? Because in Power BI it's easy, because everything you get in drop down, and plus you have the suggestions also when you are working with functions, because then it gives you about what next needs to be put. So I'm putting date 2024 and month is 12 December, and then date is 31st, and I'm just clicking on enter. Now you can see that I have gotten all the dates from 1st of January till 2022, 1st January 2022 till all last date, right? Okay. Now here we see that the time has also come. So here in the format one, we can just, from the drop down, we can choose the format in which we want to see. So I want to see it in DDMMYYY. So I'm just clicking on it, and this is how the date would come along. Now regarding the flag, right? So I'm gonna click on a new column, right? And let's say that flag name is in past. Okay. So how we are gonna deal with, I will create a variable which is variable last sales date, which would have max of the date column from fact sales table. It just will store this value. Okay. Now I will create a variable which will calculate the previous year's date. So I will have last sales date PY for previous year, and I will use the eDate function, which will simply take 12 months back, current date 12 months back. So I'm using eDate and last sales date comma minus 12, right? And then I will return something. And what is that return something? If dim date, that means if the date in my dimension table is less than equal to last sales date of previous year, right? So I will also make sure that in the presentation all the DAX formulas are shared, so that it is easier for you to refer, right? Okay. So I just pressed enter, and you can see that I have a flag which is known as in past, and which will have both true and false value. That's it, right? So this is what we are trying to do. All right. So let's go to the presentation flow. So we have, let me just pen. Okay. So we had done with getting the data in Power BI. We are done with transforming the data in Power Query. We have also made the calculated dim table, right? So now let's move on to slicer value and all the measures, right? So let me just show you how the report would look like, actual report. So if you can see, we have gross profit, quantity, sales, and the years here. So if I click on quantity, or the entire report changes, right? If I click on gross profit, sales, 2023, 2022, everything changes, right? So these are the slicer values, and I want to add gross profit, quantity, and sales to my slicer values. So let's create that one. So if I go to the here, I should have enter data. I would do enter data. Now let's say I want to have the name as values, and then I will simply write sales, gross profit, and then I have quantity. Why? Because everything in my data set is divided into these three things: sales, gross profit, and quantity. And I'm going to name this table as SLC for slicer, and then I have values, right? Okay, so I'm gonna write load data. So we have slicer value. So if you will just see here, you can see that we have value, gross profit, quantity, and sales. So I'm fine with that part. All right, let me just delete this visual. So we are done with slicer. Now let's talk about measures. So let's talk about base measures first. So let's say, let me just make them in, okay. So let me just have a new measure, which can be with the name of, let's say, measures, and I'm just writing my name for that matter. So this is gonna add just a second. Yeah, let's say I have a base measure. So my base measure would be sales first. So sales, I'm simply putting sum of sales, right? So sum of what? Sales. So I want to have sales from fact sales. So I'm just putting it as fact sales. And you can see I have sales measure here, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna have sales, then I think it was quantity. So I'm just putting some quantity, and my another measure is there. Now again another measure, which was cost of goods sold. So this would again be cost of goods sold, sum of cost of goods sold. Why we are putting cost of goods sold? Because that is where from where the gross profit would come in, right? So I'm just right clicking on it, and then new measure, and then let's say I say, oops, gross profit. Gross profit is simply what? Sales minus cost of goods sold. So I'm saying sales minus cost of goods sold. Simple, right? Okay, so so these are my base models, base measures, sorry, right? So let's say now I want to work on the year to date measures. Okay, so you would realize in some time that why we are working on with so many measures. But meanwhile, before that, let me just go to measure this model view, and let me just arrange in the star schema, so that when we are actually making putting things on the visualization mode, the syncing is not a concern. So let me just put here, yeah, so my fact table, I'm just putting fact table in the center, right? So you can still go and watch the video on star schema in Power BI. It is an important concept I've been reiterating. Okay, so let's say here, so this one is done. So here dim accounts, account ID, I'm just gonna drag and drop here an account ID and click on save. Now dim date, this is again concerned with date. Save. So this is how the model is now being made in the star schema, and I'm okay with these things. And slicer values, I don't need to connect, right? So let's say, yeah, so let's go here. On the right side, now I need to create measures for year to date. Okay, so let's say year to date sales. So what is year to date? Year to date, I'm using another function, which is total year to date function. Simple. And then I would say sales, because I need to work on sales. Now I need the dates. So I am taking the dates from fact sales, and you can choose these. Yeah. Okay, now you can see that there is another measure which is YTD, right? Okay. Similarly, I can make other ones new measure, YTD quantity, which is equal to total YTD, which is year to date. I need to work on quantity. So now you know that why we did the sum of quantity, because here we are using the quantity now to calculate the year to date. All right, so comma, now I need date. I would take the date from fact sales and simple. Now similarly, I would know YTD gross profit. Now I need gross profit, comma, total year to date gross profit, and now my date would be facts, date time, simple. Now let's say I need to see how these values look like. So I would say year to date. Oops, I don't need this one. I would need multi-chart. Okay. Year to date quantity, year to date gross profit. Let me just build it up. Okay. Now I can also see quantity. I can also see gross profit. I can also see sales. So I've not done anything. I've simply added a multi-row card and I've selected all the measures. This is not a part of the dashboard. This is just to show about things are doing okay, things are running fine as of now for us. Okay, so now let's talk about the previous year values. So I'm just adding a new measure. I say PYTD. It is just to distinguish between previous year to date and year to date, right? So sales, here it would be calculate. So I'm using a calculate function. What I'm trying to calculate? I'm trying to calculate sales. Now we need to put another filter basically. So what is filter? So whenever we are trying to do anything on previous year to date, we cannot use total year to date function, right? We need to then work on same period last year function. So same period last year function, right? Now in the dim date, from the drop down you can say in the dim date, right? And then I have another filter which is in past. You remember we had calculated the flag, a boolean flag, which said that if particular date is present in the previous year or not. So I say in past is equal to true. So it's easy, right? Everything, Power BI would give everything by its own, right? All the suggestions, all the drop down, so it's easy. So I just press enter and let me just show and plot this. So PYTD sales, now you can see here that PYTD sales is there. Now similarly, we just click on right click, add a new measure, PYTD quantity. So it's same thing, the formula remains the same. All we need to do is simply change sales to quantity, but I'm doing it again for you so that you get the clarity about how we are using the formula. So I use calculate, then expression is I need quantity, comma, now I need a filter. Filter is what? For the previous year. So same period last year. Now I need to give the date. Now I would take the dim date and that's it. Now another one was that the in past need to be true. So in past needs to be true. So I am again trying to plot it. I'm just clicking on this measure. Now you can see that the PYTD quantity has also added up, right? Now on the right side, new measure. Now let's say PYTD, I think only gross profit is left. So gross profit, calculate function, I need gross profit, then I need same period last year, and then I need to give a date which is dim date, and I need that in past should be equal to true. Simple. Now if I plot this, I will get the last year PYTD gross profit also. And one very another important thing which we need, which the stakeholders are also asked, that there need to be a comparison between YTD and PYTD, that is year to date and previous year to date. So what we are gonna do is, for that we would first make a switch. A switch as in, let me just show you that if I click on quantity, everything is being, every chart is being filtered by quantity. If I click on sales, every chart is being clicked on sales, right? So clicked on sales, and plus it also like all the YTDs, PYTDs, everything is being sorted out, right? Everything is being filtered out. So for that we would then now make switch, right? So let's make a switch. So I'll name it as switch YTD. Now how we are gonna make switch is that we will create a variable which is selected value. Why selected value? Because out of the slicer values, which is sales, quantity and gross profit, any value can be selected by the user, correct? So for that we are going to store that value in a variable. So selected value, now we are going to use selected value function. So selected value of what? Column name SLC, which is slicer value. So selected value we have stored in here. Now we need to do is we need to create a switch. Now I say switch, var result. Now let's say I want a switch. Now switch is expressions. Expression first one is, we are just talking about the selected value. Now how the result should be. So I'm simply saying if it says sales, if they have chosen. So these names are the exact same copy of what values we have in the SLC values. So if I have sales, so this is YTD, I should have YTD sales. That's it, comma. If they have chosen quantity, I need to have quantity, YTD quantity. Now if they have chosen gross profit, I need to have gross profit YTD value. And if not, I should have a return blank. Okay, now I can close the switch, and then I will have a return result. That's it. I'm simply copying it, so it's not giving me any error, so things are fine. I'm copying it because I need to make another measure which is similar which is similar to it, which says switch PYTD, right? Similar thing, I will create a variable which is selected value, which will store the selected value function on slicer values, the value of them basically, right? Then I have variable result which will try to switch. Switch what? Switch the selected value. Selected value, selected value variable. So I'm just saying selected value. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah. And then I need to have a result. So what would be the result? So if they have chosen sales, I need to give PYTD sales. Oops. PYTD sales. Oops. Sorry, I pressed enter. So you just need to press shift enter. So if I say quantity, I should have PYTD quantity. If I have gross profit, So I'm just doing this again for you so that you have a clarity about how to write the DAX functions. So I will have PYTD gross profit, or else I need to give blank. I am closing this and I say return result. Okay, so this needs to be close. Okay, great. So now we have this. So I don't think the switch would work right now, so let's not do that. Okay, now we have made the switch now. Okay, so now the stakeholders have also asked that there need to be a difference of value between YTD and PYTD. So what I'm trying to do is the difference should be based on sales, quantity and gross profit. So we would simply create a new measure. Okay, so it will get YTD versus PYTD, and I'm simply going to subtract the switches. So switch YTD minus PYTD switch. That's it. These are my variables, and these are my measures, and let me just put all of them in a folder. So because it's a good practice, it is sorted, it is more cleaner. And let's say I don't need so I have gone to the model view. Now here I am not I don't need the cost of goods sold, so I'm just hiding it by clicking on the I button. Now I don't need as such okay, let me just put this here. So for the gross profit, I am just clicking on it, and you see here display folder under the properties. So let's say, let me put them in base measures. So gross profit get into base measures. Okay, now sales would also go to base measure, so I'm just simply dragging and dropping it to organize. Quantity would also go into base measures. Alright, so I'm just putting cost of goods sold also into base measures, but I've hidden it so it would not be shown into the report view. So now PYTD for display folders, I am putting PYTD in display folders. Again, PYTD quantity, gross profit and sales. Okay, now here you can see in the properties under model view, under properties you would see synonyms. So synonyms are again an important concept when we are trying to add a Q&A, question and answer feature in Power BI, and make sure that you are understanding this Q&A functionality as well, because this is a common question. And for all the questions related to PL300 exam, you can go to my playlist of all the practice tests, and I think they are sufficient for you to crack the PL300 exam in the first go. So coming back to this project, so now let's say I'm going to YTD simply, and I'm putting everything, even YTD versus PYTD, YTD quantity and YTD sales, I'm putting in the YTD folder, and then I have folder for switch. So I'm just putting a folder for switch. So now here, if you will now go to the report page, you would see that it is more cleaner, right? I mean, it looks just more prettier, right? So we are done with everything as far as the measures and other things are concerned. So let's now move on to our report. Let's now try to make a report, right? So we are done with base measures, we are done with star schema, and let's start drafting the report design. So how it is like, so this is how we are going to design the report. So how I have decided is that we would be making a report title here, then slicers and KPI, tree map, waterfall, line chart, scatter plot, and these are the color schemes basically. Okay, so this is what I want to do, this is how I want to present this report, but you can have all your ideas and you can use your creativity how you want to project your reports, right? So let me just try and give help you with this particular design, right? So I have also mentioned all the color codes as well in the presentation, which is there in the project files, and the project files are there in the GitHub page, so you can go and download it. All right, so let's go here. So first of all, let's add the report title. Okay, so for the report title, I'm just clicking on insert. I am saying shape and I'm just adding a rectangle. That's it. Okay, so I'm just resizing it, something like that, right? And let's say for the style, for the color, okay, so I'm just taking this for the color. Yeah, so this is the code. You can check the presentation. So I'm just changing the color here. Now you can see the color is here. Now I need the logo also, right? We need this logo also. So for the logo, I would go to insert and then I say image, and you can check the logo. So logo is also there in the project file, so you can just insert it. And now all you need to do is just resize it, right? Just resize and put it here, and that's it. So we are done with this one. Now let's try to make sections. So we need to make slicer, KPI cards, all of it. So again, similar process, we add shapes, right? I'm just adding here. Let's say I want this much slicer or this. Okay, and the color which we had chosen is this one, so I'm just copy pasting it. I go to format, shape, style and colors, and simply giving the hex code. Okay, great. Oops, yeah, so this is how it is, and I'm just copy pasting it. And yes, in the style part I don't need the border, so I'm just switching off the borders. Now I would copy paste it, and I'm making another area which is for my KPIs, something like this. Okay, now so I'm done with slicer area, I'm done with KPI. Now let's make an area for tree map. So why I'm doing it, because it's easier for it's easy to design, and it's important that you kind of design everything beforehand, so that it's just about implementation. Otherwise you would be just changing every design now and then, and things like that would happen. So now I need to make something for my waterfall chart again. Okay, now here, this is for my stacked line chart, so I can just resize it, trying to make them equal. And now, so we are done with waterfall also, we are done with line. Now we need to make for scatter plot. Okay, so we are now making it for scatter. Oops, we are now making it for scatter plot. Yep. All right, so now we are done with the designing part. We know where to put which visual. So let's try to put first the slicers. So when we talk about slicers, now I want to put it as a button slicer, so I'm just choosing a button slicer, and I am choosing let's add date first. So from date, I have date hierarchy. Let me just open that for you so that it is visible. Just a second. Yeah, so from date hierarchy I just need the year, right? So I just want the year. I'm just resizing it now, trying to put it here. Oops, yeah, trying to put it here, and something like this. Okay, now in the format one, I would know that I don't need the title, so I go to general and I don't need the title. So I've just, from the visual one, from the call out values, I'm just changing the font. I am just using Sego semi bold, and I'm decreasing the size to 10 probably, or 9 something. Yeah, 9 is better. and I am trying to align it to the center. So now we are done with the ear. If you want, you can just yeah, this is better. Okay, now I want the slicer values to be added, so I'm just adding a slicer. Again, now you can see that there is just about formatting that you need to simply add something. Yeah. So now here what I want is, I don't need the date, I need the slicer value. So I go to SLC values and I choose values, that's it. So here I would have gross profit, quantity and sales. I'm just, yes, so I think this is better. This looks better. Okay. Now our slicer values are here. So we have put along the slicer values. Now we need to put the KPI charts. So again, it's just similar thing. What we need to do is, we need to add a KPI card, basically a card visual. And what are our KPIs? Our KPIs are YTD sales or quantity or gross profit, right? And PYTD sales, gross profit or quantity. So we know that there is always a change. So what we are gonna do is, we will use the switch values. So we go to switch values, and let's say I want to put PYTD sales, switch. So it's fine, it's blank for the very reason that we are yet to choose things like this. So you can say that all the values are correct here. So now here I'm simply copy pasting it. Oops. I'm simply copy pasting it, and we will be changing the values in some time. So I'm just making sure that all the visuals are of the same size, equidistance, because it look good. It's important that, stakeholders, when they look at your report, your hard work, they should be, these things should be visually appealing. So I'm good with these things. Okay. Now here I want to put let's say the comparison YTD. So I go here, I go to YTD, and I want to put a comparison which is YTD versus PYTD. Okay. Right. And here I want to put PYTD, switch off PYTD. And here I want to make gross profit percentage. So we had not made gross profit percentage, so let's make it right away. So right click on it, click on new measure. Okay, let's say GP percent is equal to, so it's what I just need to divide gross profit and sales, right? So I will now use the divide function. So I use the divide function. I want to divide gross profit with sales and just multiply it with 100. That's it. And we have the GP percent. So now I'm just want a GP percent. Okay, so this part is done. Maybe I want to change the font size, so I'm selecting all of these together so that it's easier for me to format. So I'm going to format the visual, call out label, and in the font size I'm just changing it as semi bold, and probably decrease the size. Yes, I think 30 is better. Yeah, so I'm okay with this, right? And I would want the category labels, yes, right? Okay, now here you would see that we have minus value or plus values. So let's do a conditional formatting of it. Okay, so when we click on here, we go to call out value. So I need to click on, so you just need to go to font. On the color side you see FX, which is the conditional formatting. Okay, so from the format style you say rules, And this is again a Power BI PL 300 question, that from where do we get the rules? On the format style, which item would you click if you need to change the conditional color of an item? So this is again an important question. So I would say if it is greater than 0 and if it is less than max, then I would need a blue. So for the blue color, I have a blue color. I go to more colors, I just add my color, and for new rules, if it's less than 0, I'm just adding a red, and more colors and similar thing. Okay, I'm clicking on this. Okay, so it's same thing, right? If it is so now if it is in the positive thing, it turns to blue, and if it is negative, it turns to green, sorry, red. So let's say if I want to change the background, right? Even I want the background to be red again. So let's say I go to journal, I go to effects, and I have the background on, right? So I go to FX. A similar thing, I want to have rules. So for 0 to max, I need blue, right? So let me just check, take the blue again, here, take the blue, and again for this I need red. So choosing red. Okay, now I need to increase the transparency to, let's say, 60%. So I'm just putting it as 60 here. Yes, so I think this one is better, and I'm okay with it. And just now, so let me just now you can see that it is switch YTD. So let me just change the name basically of this visual. So I will say value YTD. Here I will say value PYTD. Oops. Okay, so now I think this is done. So I am done with the KPI charts. Now let's add the tree map. Okay, so here I would say tree map. Oops, I think it just changed that current visual. So just click anywhere on the empty space. Now let's say on a tree map, and I'm just trying to fit in this box. Okay, now let's see. Now we need to make a tree map for bottom 10 countries, and on basis of what? I need to make YTD versus PYTD. So let's say, so I need country. So category is country, and values basis what? So basis is YTD versus PYTD. So I will just add this to values, and woo, I am done. I am done with my tree chart, but I need to have it as bottom 10, right? So here, if you will see here on the filters, now you can see that it is a country, right? So I click on country. Right now the filter type is basic filtering. So if I click on the drop down, I go to top N. On the show items, I click on top, and then I choose bottom, and then I choose bottom 10. But by what value? Again, the value is PYTD, YTD versus PYTD. So I'm just gonna drag and drop it here and click on apply filters. Now you can see all the change there, right? Now let's change the title of the graph. So I go to the format visual, and then let's say I go to general title, and let's name it as bottom 10 YTD versus PYTD, and I'm okay with that. Let me change the font size, and I'm just going Seco, and let's say 9 or probably 10. Yeah, I think that these are fine, right? Okay, so if you want, you can just place it at the center as well. All right, so I'm done with the tree map as well. Now let's try to create a waterfall chart, and waterfall chart has the drill down effect as well. Okay, so let's try a waterfall chart. So I'm just clicking anywhere in the empty area. Now let's choose where the waterfall chart is, and then we have waterfall chart. Now let me just put this here on the waterfall. I'm just fitting it in this particular box. Yeah. Now let's say I want waterfall chart will drill down effects, but how? So I need a YTD versus PYTD, but on the month basis, and then I need country, product type, and product name. So let's configure it. So now first I need on the y-axis, I think we would be wanting month. So let me just put, I go to dim date, and then from the hierarchy I just choose month. And then the breakdown would be on the basis of, it says country. So let me just choose country. Oops. Let me just choose countries here. I think I'm doing something wrong. Hold on. Yeah. Yes, so let me just put it here. So I would first want that it is on the basis of month and quarter. So I'm just choosing from the date hierarchy quarter and month. And now I need the country as well. So I'm just putting it as a category, country. And then I need the product name and product type. So I'm going to dim product. Oops. Then I have the product type, and then I need a product name. So I'm adding all of it under category so that it would give me a drill down effect. Okay, and in the y-axis I need YTD versus PYTD. So here you can see that let me just, if I click on the focus mode, this visual would enlarge. Okay, so if I click on this arrow, it would turn into a drill down mode. So this is another question that comes in the PL300 exam, that how to get into the drill down mode. So you click on this arrow. Now this is a drill down mode. So let's say I click on this. Now here it is date, month. So first it was quarter, now it is month. Now let's say I get into June. Now here are all the list of countries. Click on it. Now it is the product type. Let's say it is indoor, landscape, outdoor. And then you have all the product name. Okay, so it is basically drilling down as per the category now we have decided on. Alright, so I'm going to back to report, and I'm just getting out of the drill down mode. Right, so when is drill down mode used is when we need more details about it. So waterfall charts are basically used to show where and when there has been an plus increase or decrease of some value, and then getting into the details about which product was contributing to it, why, what's the reason. So all of that analysis can be done with it. So we are done with this waterfall chart with drill down effect as well. Now the next one is our line and stack chart. So let's add line and stack chart. So so I can go here, and I go here with line and stack chart. Oops. So just trying to settle it down and fit into this box. And then yeah, now let's say now it needs YTD, quarter and month, and product type. Okay, so it needs let's say I need a quarter and a month. So on the y-axis, let's say I need quarter and month, and yeah, sorry, x-axis I need quarter and month. Then let's see, I am okay with it was okay. So YTD, let's say YTD switch, I want it as y-axis because it's the column, right? And as an Y line, right, the line which we have, I want to put it as the previous year. So I'm just clicking on, I'm just dragging it in the line Y axis, and now you can see that there is a line of previous year. Okay, so this is how we are gonna make our line and column chart, basically line and stacked column chart. And now we can also change the name of the axis, basically. So I say value YTD, and I don't want switch, so I say value PYTD. Yes, now I'm happy. It looks good because it has completely divided the entire year for quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4, and it is giving me all the values of the January, I mean month wise as well, because it is able to show it, because 2023 is the complete year which we have, right? And 2022 also is the complete year which we have, so it's good. Now you would observe that it is not giving me a previous year line, because we do not have any data which is previous to 2022, correct? But for 2024 it would just show quarter 1 and quarter 2 and the previous line as well. Now let's say I want some color here. So let's say I want to add color type, custom legend. Yes, I can use product type in legend, because I want to do it on the product type basis. So yeah, so I am okay with it. On the indoor, landscape, outdoor, I'm fine with these things. So we are done with the line and column chart as well, and let's try to make our last plot, which is scatter plot. So I go and empty here, empty space here. So let's make a scatter chart. I'm just trying to fix in here also. Okay, so this is an account profitability chart, and on the on the x-axis you would say that it's a GP percent versus YTD. So on the x-axis I would want to have a YTD, but with the switch. So I'm just putting on the x-axis YTD. On the on the y-axis I would want the GP percent, so I'm just putting a GP percent on the y-axis. And for the legend, it says I need to go with the product type, so I'm just putting a product type. Oops. So what we had to do was we had to make it on the basis of accounts. So on the values I would add accounts, so I am happy with accounts. Yes, so now you can see that there you can see the correlation between GP percent, and let me just change this value as value YTD. Yes, so now let's say here you can see that with the increased GP percent, which account has contributed to the value YTD, right? There is a correlation between GP percent and value YTD, and which accounts has contributed to it. These circles are the they would give the names of it. So if you will hover over them, there is the account name and what kind of value and GP percent they have returned. So now let's say I need a a zoom slicer. So I go here for further analysis, and I think I think here I will have zoom slider. So I'm just switching them on. So how the zoom slider could help you is, if let's say I want to just focus on the very high GP percent, so I can just zoom in, and now I can see which are the accounts that are contributing to the very high GP percent of more than 60 or 65%. And then if I want that more than 68%, then I would know that these are the accounts, and that is the only that is why you would be using the zoom in slicers. So let's say now I want to add an average line as well. So for further, just go to add your visual further analysis, and then add average line, add line, and value YTD, I'm okay. The color, so color I am okay with bright red. I don't want any transparency. Another line I would add across the GP value, so add line, and here I would have GP percent, again red color, but I don't want any transparency. So this is how this particular visual would look like with the average lines and the zoom slicers. So now you can see that these color themes are okay, but if I want to change them, I can change them by view, and then there are themes. This is another question in PL 300 exam, how do you change the themes? So you can just choose any. I think I'm okay with this. This looks very pretty, and this is soothing, etc etc, all the visualization rules. So I'm okay with it. Now all I need to do is I need to make these three charts, the title of these three charts dynamic, and also the title of my report dynamic, right? So for these I'm gonna add let me just so I'm gonna add a new measure. So let's say I want to have for waterfall chart, so I have waterfall title. So what is my waterfall title? If you would see here in our sample report, just a second. Yes, so if I have a sample report, you would see that this is gross profit, that is basically the slicer value, and then YTD. Okay, so I'm just creating a measure is equal to, so now we need to have slicer, or the selected value of the slicer basically, right? So slicer value. Now I need and inside it I want that YTD versus PYTD should be written. So I say YTD versus PYTD. I'm just putting a space before it so that it is readable, and by month, then it was by country, and then it was by product. So that is how it is also showing that hey, we are trying to show the quantity sales or gross profit by month, country and product, and it is showing a drill down effect. So I'm just pressing enter. So what is it? Single value. Oh, okay. So I'm just saying it says single value, and then we need to close it, and then we need to press enter, and this, yeah, yes. So now you can see that here it is the waterfall title. So I'm just clicking on waterfall chart. I go to format, I go to journal, then I go to title. Then here you can see the title text, right? So I go to simply FX field value. Then from the drop down I go to dim accounts, and simply I choose waterfall title. That's it, and I press OK. Now you would see that here the title has changed. I'm simply changing the to it as Seago semi bold and 10. Yeah. So now here let's see, if you click on quantity, here you would see that it has changed as quantity. If you click on sales, here it would change as sales. So we are going to do a similar thing with the bar and line chart also, and the scatter plot also, right? And our heading as well. So let's say I want to add the report title first. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to add a new measure, and I say report title is equal to what? So it says let's say Plantis and I need selected value of SLC values, right? And I need a word which is performance, and then I need the year to be displayed. So I say selected value of what? Of dim date, right? So I'm just writing a date here. So press enter here. So it has added a measure. Now let's see how to put this here. So I'm just simply putting a card and I'm selecting a report title for it. Now you can see here, just putting it here. Okay, so if I click on quantity, you would see here the quantity is there, right? Okay, so there is just a concern for me. It is not giving me the value of the year. So I'm editing this particular measure as dot year. Oops. And here I'm just choosing it as year. So now you could see that it is giving an year. Again, I'm just putting a space here. Yeah. So it is giving an year as well. So now if I choose 2022, it will give me 2022. If I choose 2024, it will give me 2024. Okay. So now let's edit it a little. So I don't need a category label. I don't need it. Now from the journal, I would say effects, and I would just turn off the backgrounds because I want the the background shape color green which we have given. I just want that to be that should pop up. So here call out value. Now I am using Sego semi bold. I am okay with decreasing the size a little. Yeah, and I'm putting it as white color, and that's it. So quantity, it is changing the quantity. Sales, it is changing sales. Year, it's changing year, right? Okay, great. So we are done with this one. Now let's simply change the titles of our bar chart and the scatter plot chart. So I'm just adding a measure which says, now it is let's say bar chart title. So now I want, how I want this to be. I say yeah, selected value by quarter. So I say selected value of what? I want selected value of SLC values, and I want quarter, month and product type. So I'm just simply writing quarter, month and product type. That's it. And I'm simply yeah, I just pressed enter. Now I'm clicking on this chart. I go to journal, I go to title, then I go, I go to function, then I choose from dim accounts bar chart title, and that's it. Now I format it as Sego semi bold and I want it as 10. So this is sales quarter, this is sales by quarter, let's say. I think this is better. Yeah, so this is quantity by quarter, this is changing. Gross profit by quarter, this is changing. So we are done with this one. Now here again another measure would be there which says scatter plot title, and now I want account profitability. Now what? Account profitability segmentation, correct. Now I have GP% versus whatever the selected value is, right? So GP% versus selected value, and selected value SLC slicer value. Yes. Okay, so coming here, I would again go to function. Here from the drop down, I would see scatterplot title, and I'm just changing the one here. So now this is says sales. It would be GP percentage versus quantity. Sales, gross profit 2022, this. So I know that this report which we have created, it is good to go, it is good to publish. All you need to do is simply click on this publish button and publish to your workspace, and now you are good to go. So thank you so much for watching this particular video. I hope you like the project, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. All the resources are there in the description box, and I would see you in the next project video. Thank you so much, and keep visioning about data. You know it all. Thank you.